Hello and welcome back to Behind the Scenes. I'm Debbie Torres. On this channel, we focus on the things that we can work on behind the scenes to help become more and more successful in our careers and our lives in general. So welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about motivation. First of all, what is it? We're going to talk through what it is, how to tap into it or recognize it in yourself, and then if you manage people, how to tap into motivation of your team. All right, so first, the definition. What is motivation? Motivation is the psychological, biological, emotional, or social driving force that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. So if you are leading a team, if you are trying to achieve any goals in your life, what you want to do is understand motivation, specifically your intrinsic motivation. So number one, how do you figure out what motivates you? Because this changes depending on where you are in your life, the things that you've already achieved. But one of the best ways to help understand yourself and the things that motivate you are to sit down and do a love-hate exercise. So if I'm specifically talking about a job, the job that I'm in, or the type of job that I want to have, you want to sit down and list out what are the attributes of the thing it is you're doing or want to do that you love, or what would you hate or do you hate? A lot of times when people do this exercise for the first time, they'll end up focusing on things like people, the people aspects that they don't like in terms of their role. This should not be an exercise where we're focused on people. We're really looking at the actual attribute of a job. So for example, I like to travel globally, and so I like having that as an attribute of my job. I like working with people in different countries, different cultures, different time zones. I'm okay with waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do that. Other people would not be okay doing that. What comes up a lot ever since COVID is I want to be home based. Well, that actually doesn't work for some people who really like to be around other people and who like to accomplish goals together as a team. Somebody like that probably wouldn't want to work from home or be isolated. Sure, you don't really want to commute, but you may have other more pressing desires that are true to who you are, and that is part of how you need to define what motivates you. So sit down and do that love-hate exercise. What do I love about a job, about my job? What do I really, truly love about it? And then do the same thing on the hate side. For me, an example of something I would hate would be something repetitive that I had to do day in, day out, the same thing every day. I did do that at one point in my job life many years ago. I was the accounts payable person, and every week I was going to do the same thing. And that was okay for a while. To be honest, I wasn't a very career minded person at the time. I was good at it, but as I got older and I found my way into my career I've had for the last 26 years, that became something that I did not like anymore. And in fact, it would be something that I would truly hate. If I had to do the exact same things over and over again, I wouldn't like that. Very similarly, if I were in a position where I was not working with a team, if I wasn't managing a team, if I had no strategic component to my role, I would not like that either. I'm not somebody who wants to just get told what to do. I'm somebody that likes to do the telling. So those are examples of what I mean when I say figure out your motivation. Figure out what you love, figure out what you hate. And that's the first half. And then once you figured out those things, the way I've done it is just put it on a list, on a PowerPoint slide, on a Word document. It doesn't matter. Just do the pros and cons. And then once you have that, the second thing that you need to combine with it is where are you in your life? What is it that personally matters to you? With people I work with, younger people, and by that I mean 30s, 40s type of age range, they're usually starting families. They have little kids at home. They don't want a job that's going to suck up all their time. They want that freedom to be able to balance being at home and taking care of their family. That's an intrinsic motivator. That's something that is just at the heart of the person. Younger people are usually like, I want money. Money is my motivation right now because that's what I need. And that aligns with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You have to have your basic needs taken care of before you can start to even think of moving up that triangle into self actualization. So, really understanding where you are in your life is the second half of defining motivation. Once you figure out those two things, your love and hate list, and really what drives you, that's where you can combine those two things to really figure out the perfect job or role for you. And it can help you figure out what's missing from your current job that you need to somehow figure out how to address. So, the most important thing here is to really understand yourself and understand why it is that you're not feeling very goal oriented, or you're not feeling that internal drive to go toward whatever goal it is that you're trying to achieve. If you've lost that, and if you're somebody who is pursuing a goal, then likely you have dialed in what it is that you love and hate and what it is that is important to you, and somehow that combination is present in what it is you're doing. And so that's ideally where you want to get, is to that mix of what you love, minimize how much you hate, and then make sure that those personal needs are being met. And then that is the formula for achieving any goal that you would set yourself up for. Now, if you manage people, you do the exact same thing with your team members to figure out how to engage them. At work, we have specific goals. The company has specific goals. They need to hit certain revenue, sales, etc., so that they can exist. And each employee has some little sliver of that they're responsible for helping achieve. But you can't let it stop there. If you want a high-performing team, what you need to do is the exact same thing. Sit down with your employees, get to know them. Get to know what they really love and hate. It would be helpful to also understand what they're good at. Most likely, things that your employees are naturally good at are also going to correspond with what they love versus hate, but not always. Sometimes people like to be around other people and they like to be part of a team. They like mentoring, but they might not have it in them to really manage people. That's okay, but you need to know that. You need to understand how you can position those employees to achieve whatever it is that you are personally responsible for achieving for the company. Same thing, once you figure out what they love or don't love, and it's simply asking them, hey, is there anything else that, if you're looking around, is there anything else you'd be interested in getting involved in? Have that conversation with them just to understand, do you like doing these types of things? Do you like doing projects? Would you want to be part of a special project if I find one? Just ask them. You would be surprised how many people just don't ask what their employees would want to do. And then once you know what they actually like doing and what they would be interested in helping with, do the same thing. Ask them what motivates them, what's important to them intrinsically. Now, this is not a conversation that you can have with employees if you don't have an open relationship with them. If you don't have a trusting relationship, they are not going to tell you what it is that's most important to them, especially if it's along the lines of money. A lot of people don't want to admit this is a number one most important to me because of the stage of life they're in or whatever the case is. But if you do have that relationship with your employees, and I highly suggest you work on having that open dialogue with them, they will tell you. I have had a range, like I said earlier. I had one person say she wants to future-proof her life because of the experience she had growing up and what she saw happen to her mom. So these are things that you cannot manufacture and you cannot get out of a person unless they have a trusting relationship with you. But once you know it and you understand what it is that makes them tick, then you can combine meeting those needs with the things that really excite them, the attributes of a job that excites them. And once you combine those two things, you will have the most motivated, goal-oriented, high-achieving team you have ever seen. It works 100%. Now, you cannot always make everyone happy. And I think that that's something to be very clear about when you're talking to your employees and understanding yourself when you're trying to find another job or a role that would be more suitable for you, or trying to understand why it is that you might not feel as motivated in your current role. You're not 100% going to be able to just work on whatever things make you happy. I mean, that's just the reality of life. But if, say, 90% of it is meeting all of those needs and it's really hitting those hot buttons for you, then I think that you will have a very highly successful career, and you will be able to stay motivated when things get tough. You'll be able to push through. You'll be able to motivate your team to push through. And yeah, that's really what I want for you. So I hope this helped give you a little bit insight into figuring out, who am I, what it is I like, am I really motivated? If I'm not motivated, why? What is it I need to fix? And what you can do for your teams, either the ones that you lead now or those in the future. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.